In the United States, the election process might seem complicated, but let's break it down to understand the basics. Every 4 years, the United States holds a presidential election, and the goal is to pick the next president. But it's not as simple as getting the most votes. Instead, it uses something called the Electoral College. So how does it work? First, people across the country go to vote. They vote for one of the candidates, but technically, they're not voting directly for the president. They're actually voting for a group of people called electors who promise to support that candidate. Each state has a certain number of electors based on its population. Bigger states like California have more electors, while smaller states like Wyoming have fewer. These electors are part of the Electoral College, which is made up of 538 electors in total. To win the presidency, a candidate needs a majority of these electoral votes, at least 270. So, when people vote in each state, the candidate with the most votes in that state usually gets all of the state's electoral votes in what's called a winner-takes-all system. There are 2 exceptions to this: Maine and Nebraska, which divide their electoral votes in a different way. After the election, the electors meet to officially cast their votes for president. This is usually a formality, as they almost always vote the way their state did. Once the votes are counted, the candidate with at least 270 electoral votes becomes the next president. Now, why use the Electoral College instead of just counting everyone's votes directly? It's a system that's been around since the United States. The Constitution was written. The founders of the country wanted a way to balance the interests of small and large states. So, while a candidate can win the popular vote, the total number of votes across the whole country, they need to win in enough states to get the majority of electoral votes to actually become president. In addition to the presidential election, people also vote for members of Congress, which is made up of the Senate and the House of Representatives. Senators serve 6-year terms, and each state has 2 senators. Members of the House serve 2-year terms, and the number of representatives each state gets is based on its population. These elections happen every 2 years, so sometimes they're on the same ballot as the presidential election, and other times they're in the midterm elections. So, to sum up, United States elections are a bit like a 2-step process. First, people in each state vote. Then the Electoral College elects the president based on those votes. It's a unique system, but it's how the United States chooses its leaders, balancing direct voting with a representation for each state. If you like this and want to see more, please like and subscribe.